Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's reading vlog. I have a very exciting one because we have something that's going to be picking how much I read for the next week. I know all of us, well, maybe not all of us. I know specifically me, maybe some of us spend a lot of times on our phones / on my phone. That's nothing new here. I did check my screen time recently over the last few days and I was like, okay, why am I spending so much time on these apps? What am I doing on these apps? Which I also found that my most used ones are YouTube and TikTok, which is also not very surprising. It's funny because I know when I click the app, like in my head, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. As soon as I open, I'm like, okay, we're gonna be here for a while because I get sucked into the doom scrolling very quickly. These apps are designed to keep you watching, not to put the blame on them. I know the blame is on me, but they are designed to keep you on them for a longer amount of time. So again, it's not surprising these are my top most used ones. So I thought for this week, why not flip that? For every minute I spend on those apps from last week, we're gonna spend reading. Everyone's just on edge, including me. Every character and me, we're all on edge. It wasn't me? Do we have to put the blame on me for this one? I think I hit my goal. What was our goal? Before I start off with how much we're going to be reading today and what book we're reading, I want to thank today's sponsor, which is none other than Book of the Month. So thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. You guys know, if you've been here before, how much I love Book of the Month. If you have not heard of Book of the Month, it's an online book service for readers. This wonderful blue box is the best package to get on your doorstep every month. Every month, their team carefully chooses what they think is going to be the next best fiction, and they put all those titles into a list and they send that short list to us to choose from. One of the nice things is they focus on new and emerging authors, so it's a chance to find a new author that you'll love, a new book that you'll love. So nice because you know these books are chosen with care, and not only can you choose a physical book each month, but they also have audiobooks that you can choose from. They also offer the best prices on new release hardcover fiction, and they also have free shipping as well as a royalty rewards program. So let's get into the books that I chose for June. The first one being V.E. Schwab's newest release. I was ecstatic to see that this book was on the list for June. It's called Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I believe this is a vampire story, also following a few different time periods, and I'm very excited about this one. I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and it's one of my favorite books, so I'm so excited to read her newest release. And then the other one that I got is The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. This one is a mystery / thriller. I found some of my favorite in that genre from Book of the Month. In 1975, two teenage siblings are found dead, and the only surviving sibling is Vincent, and now ghostwriter Olivia Dumont is hiding the fact that she's the only child of Vincent. After 50 years of silence, Vincent is finally ready to talk about what really happened that night in 1975. This sounds so good. So these are two out of the few options that Book of the Month has given for the month of June. There's so many good ones this month. It was very hard to choose, but I'm very excited for these two. You guys can get your first book with Book of the Month for just $9.99 with the code Daydream. That will all be in the description, and you also get a free hat, which is so much fun. Thank you, Book of the Month, for sponsoring today's video. Today is Monday. We are starting with my screen time from last Monday, and I spent the most of the day on YouTube. Specifically, an hour and 22 minutes. I don't know what I was doing, but I like to put YouTube in the background while I'm doing other things. I don't usually just sit and watch YouTube like that, but I spent an hour and a half of my time that day just chilling, watching YouTube, which is not bad. I love watching YouTube, but I could have gotten a lot of pages read. I'm gonna read 82 pages of my next read, which is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I'm so excited about this. I'm gonna sit outside. I'm gonna start this book in the sun. It feels like the perfect time to do that. And 82 is the minimum amount I have to read today. I could go over that if I wanted to. So let's see how much I read, but I definitely have to reach the 82 pages today. I just want to know what I was doing on YouTube for 4 hours last week. What on Tuesday was I doing that needed me to be watching YouTube for that long? because I don't know, I tried to look in my camera roll and I literally have no idea what I was doing. Usually I have like photos from the day that I could be like, okay, that makes sense, that checks out, but no excuse for this one. So because I spent that long last week watching YouTube, today we're going to be reading 244 pages. Last night I read up to page 88, so I went a little bit over what I was supposed to. So I added the 88 pages I got to the 244 from today. So we're gonna read up to page 332 of One Golden Summer. I think this is like 360 pages, so if we successfully complete or get to the amount I'm supposed to read, I'll probably just end up finishing it. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know, we'll see, because today's the last like nice day out. It's gonna rain the rest of the week and I really want to read this while the sun is shining, because the setting that she transports you to is like peak summer vibes. I haven't loved all of Carly Fortune's books, but I can say I've loved the setting of all of them. I think she does such a great job of just describing the summer feeling and also like being on a lake. Like I feel like I'm there on the jet ski with them, on the boat with them. And aside from that, this one I didn't even say what it was about, but we have Charlie as our male main character and he's also a side character from Every Summer After, so it's kind of interconnected. I don't think you need to read that one to read this one, but to understand Charlie more, I do think you should read Every Summer After. He is very much golden retriever vibes. Like one of my favorite types of male main characters is exactly what he's giving. You know, he's very flirty, the banter's there, he's very like kind of goofy, he kind of like tries to make the female main character flustered, and it like makes me giggle. Like I'm sitting here a little bit giddy over Charlie. And then our female main character is Alice, and she throws herself into her work. She's very much type A. She just got out of a long-term relationship and she's now spending the summer with her grandma Nan at a lake house on the same, you know, lake as Charlie's where he lives. She's now 33 and the last time she was there she was 17, and she took a photograph that kind of like created her passion for photography. She's a photographer, and that photograph is of two guys and a girl while they were younger, like in their teenage years, on a boat like flying across the lake, and that happens to be Charlie, is one of the people that are on that boat. So when she comes back and sees him, she's like, oh my god, like that's Charlie in the photograph. So I love the concept of this. I think that's so interesting, and I do love their dynamic because they're so opposites, their personality, but he's flirting with her and she's like giving it back a little bit. I'm really enjoying this one. I love the setting and I love the description she's giving, and I do really enjoy our character so far, so I guess we'll see where this one takes us. I'm gonna go read. Maybe we'll finish this one today. It's a high possibility. Hopefully I can successfully read 244 pages. That is a lot. I don't normally read that many pages in a day, so let's see what happens. I'm gonna go sit outside and soak in the last nice day for a while. There could not have been a more perfect book to choose to binge in a day and read as many pages as I have to today, because I can't put this down. I seriously can't. And when she came out with like news that Charlie was gonna get a book, I was like, okay, like sure, I'll probably read it because I've read all of her other books. I like her settings, the summer vibes, but I didn't really think I needed a Charlie book. I was like, okay, with the way Every Summer After went, I was like, let's just leave it at that. But no, I didn't know I needed this until right now. Like, I needed a Charlie book. I love Charlie. I think there's so much more to him than what he shows off to everyone. I think we're getting to know him so much more on an emotional, deeper level. And the way that him and Alice have become friends and the way that they've connected is so wonderful. And the side that he brings out of her is so nice to see. And the way that he's like started to care for her so deeply is so nice. Like, they're just spending so much time together. The forced proximity in this is also really, really good. They're living really close together. You know, he just like is a neighbor and going on the boats together and doing all the summer activities, doing the bucket list that she's created. The way that he cares for her grandma and just the people around him is really, really nice to see. And I know I said you don't have to read Every Summer After to read this, but I stand corrected. I do think you should read that first because it definitely shows more of Charlie and what he's been through, because it kind of just showed, or he kind of talked about more like the big plot points in Every Summer After. So I do think that context is kind of necessary to understand Charlie and what he's kind of feeling and going through, and just the way that she sees him or the way they see each other is really, really nice. So I do have an incredibly good feeling that I'll be finishing this one today. So we're not only gonna hit the goal, we're gonna go over the goal, because I need to see how this turns out for the two of them. I'm also just really, really enjoying it, really loving it. This is the perfect summer book to binge. If you need a book for a vacation of any sort, go sitting on the beach, like grab this book and take it with you. It's also kind of like their relationship right now. Their relationship is kind of like that giddy feeling you get with like a first crush or like a summer romance, summer fling, and it has like all of that banter and giddiness, and you really feel that, and the banter that's in this book is so good. Like, it feels almost like the Emily Henry banter that we all know and love. Like, it is so just chef's kiss in this one. day 3 this day last week, so last Wednesday. My most used app was TikTok, which again, not surprising, but I spent 2 hours and 8 minutes on the app. Why? I couldn't tell you. That means we're reading 128 pages of my current read that I started this morning, but before we get into that, let's talk about One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, because I finished this last night. I hit the page count and then I couldn't stop because I was so close to the end. I was like, I need to know what happens. Like I was addicted to this book. I could not put it down, completely binged it all day, not even just because of the challenge I put myself in, but because I was enjoying it so much. And it's funny because I went to check my screen time yesterday to see like what my like most used app was. Spent like barely any time on my phone because I couldn't put this book down. Like I was reading all day yesterday and I'm so low-key sad I did that because I wish I savored it more, and I think I like already want to reread it over the summer on like a beach. This had everything that I wanted and more in a summer romance. I'm still sitting on my rating on this, but right now it's feeling like 5 stars. Like I just can't stop thinking about it. It had like the most perfect like nostalgic young love summer fling romance feeling to it, and I just like was addicted to it. I love Charlie as a male main character, especially like the older version of him that we get in this one. He's 35 and he's grown up from how we knew him in Every Summer After, and just the way that his personality is so good to me. Like he's confident but like not in a cocky way, and he like has his ego but like not in a negative connotation. Like he knows that he's like attractive, and he just like flustered Alice so much, and like the banter never died down, which I loved. Like even after their first kiss, even after all this stuff, like they're still flirting with each other, and I loved that so much. Like the flirting continued and the banter continued and his personality never wavered. It was just like consistent. I really enjoyed Alice and seeing her spend the summer there and just like step out of like what she's fallen into and like find herself again. Like the way that she just described the summer setting and the lake setting was just, it was so good. I felt like I was genuinely there with them. I have so many tabs in my book, you probably can't tell, but just from parts I wanted to remember or talk about for like the book club. This part like really transported me there, and it's like one of those examples that she does a really good job of just like describing very simply the setting and the lake and being in the summer and having like a great summer love. And it says, I release my hair from its elastic and Charlie grins, then presses the throttle down. We soar across the lake and I try to soak in every last detail. The rumble of the motor, a sound I can distinguish from all the other boats on the lake, my hair lashing against my cheeks, the softness of Charlie's pullover against my skin, the goosebumps on my legs, the cool wind on my face and the fresh air in my lungs, the reflection of the sunset on the lake like we're sailing through the sky. And Charlie, I never want it to end. And there's like that feeling of like being on the boat on the lake and just like noticing everything around you and just like being in the moment and being like, I love this moment, I don't want it to end. Like I felt like I was there and I was feeling all these like summer nostalgic feelings. There's just a bunch of moments like as Alice is a photographer, I think I talked about, that she just like sees a picture perfect moment and in her head she just like click, and it just like you can picture that as a photograph, and I just really loved it. I loved all the elements of this book and I thought it was just a great summer read. Like honestly my ideal summer romance, and I binged it. I could not put this down. Not me being an overachiever 2 days in a row. Let's see if I can do it today. So the book that I started this morning, I'm only 45 out of the 128 pages we need to read, but I still have some time today to complete that goal, and that is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I've been wanting to read this one for a pretty long time now, and I've really gravitated towards it, but now I've been really intrigued by it. I don't know exactly what this is about other than reading the back of the summary and just like what I've learned so far, but basically what I know is following Robin, who when he was very young was orphaned, and he was taken in by this professor very mysteriously, not really explained why he was taken and brought to the UK, and he's thrown into studies learning Greek and Latin, all these languages, and learning all these things so that they can bring him to Oxford University. And that's where I'm at right now. He just walked up to Oxford University, and on the back of the book it says that he's joining Babel, which is the Royal Institute of Translation. And the magic system in this book is very subtle, but it's like these silver bars, and they're put into all different things like cars and railroads, and not cars because it takes place in the 1800s, but in like the stagecoaches and everything like that, and it makes things like run better, but they're very like sought after. Like not everyone has these silvers. It says that Babel's not just the World Center for Translation, but it's also more importantly the World Center for Magic, which is the silver working. The silvers make them better, I guess, than everyone else. So that's all I really know right now. He just got to Oxford, so I think he's going to start the schooling there and learn more about the silvers, and we're going to learn more as he does too. So that's all I know right now. It's about to pour for the next few days, and I know this is a dense book, but I'm ready to get like cozy and just sit with a book. I will come back with updates, and let's see if I can hit the page count today. I'm about to leave, but I wanted to update before the day is over. So, like you guys saw, today I have to read, I think it's like 153 pages. I have to get to page 288. Right now I'm on 246, so we're almost there, but I was on TikTok, my most used app last week, for 2.5 hours, basically. So, concerning, but honestly I was more baffled that I spent 4 hours on YouTube the other day, and I looked it up on my screen time because I was like, there's no way. Like, what do you mean I was on YouTube for 4 hours? Like, did I not get anything done? Like, what was I doing? So I checked, and on the screen time, like in your settings, you can click your most used app and it tells you like what hours that day you were on the app. So I checked YouTube. I was like, when was I doing this? And it was actually 12 a.m. So when I go to bed, I watch YouTube ambiance. I just put it on the background, like on my TV, but I guess that night I put it on my phone. I literally watch like the most like random ones that pop up, but that's what played on my phone on YouTube for 4 hours. So it wasn't me. We don't have to put the blame on me for this one, but nonetheless, I did get a lot of reading done that day, but I was just so confused. So I had to get down to it, like what was I doing for 4 hours? And it was my sleeping ambiance. Back to today, we're doing 150 something pages. Now I know I said I was going to come back with my rating for One Golden Summer, and I thought it was going to be a 5-star, and it definitely is a 5-star, so I just wanted to cement that in now. I keep thinking about it. It's such like a perfect summer romance, and I keep thinking about Charlie as our male main character. And one other point I wanted to make about that book is usually in romances, I really love when there's like a dual point of view. You can see how they feel and everything like in these like very special moments. But Carly Fortune did this like wonderful thing where I don't even need Charlie's point of view in the book to understand how he felt about Alice and what he was thinking and feeling. Like if he portrayed that through his actions and his words and the way he even just like looked at her, like the looks that they had, like everything about it. Like usually I would walk away and be like, Charlie was my favorite character and I wish I had his point of view, but I don't even need it. I think that was another like really talented thing that Carly Fortune was able to do, was portray Charlie and how he felt without us actually knowing and being in his point of view in those moments. But, like through Alice's eyes, like we could see exactly how he felt. So that was another reason that I really enjoyed it. But back to today, I've read quite a bit since the last time we talked. I'm like almost 250 pages in. I think I'm almost halfway as well, which is exciting. And another thing about like a challenge or whatever is like I'm determined to meet the goal. So hopefully when I get back home later, I can meet the 288 pages, because when someone tells me to do something or like we're doing challenges, I feel so guilty when like I don't complete it. So I'm gonna be really upset at myself if I don't complete the goal. This book has definitely taken a journey. Like at this point when we're following Robin, he's finishing up his 3rd semester at the school. Like he's almost in his 4th year, which is crazy how much we've like grown with him a little bit. And I feel like the beginning is very slow build up, like learning about Robin, where he came from, studying his languages, and then getting into Oxford and then eventually like, into Babel. But I think it's very important to like understand where he came from, to understand like his position and like his reasoning and why he's at Babel. So it's a slow build up, it's a slow journey to get to like, kind of like the point of what the summary is on the back of the book, but I definitely think it's like very necessary. So it's kind of like a trust the process in the beginning. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but now I'm like very invested because we learned about like the magic system, and this is definitely a historical fantasy dark academia, and I really love the dark academia setting in this, because you're not just getting the setting of the school and of Babel and all of the different stories of it and like who's working on which level and whatever, but it's actually like we're getting the lessons that they're learning about each of the languages. And when I'm reading about that and their lessons, and just like in general when R.F. Kuang is like describing the languages and everything, I've never been very interested in languages until she's described it to me, and she's just like, she's so smart. Like that's really the bottom line of it. Just like I can tell and I can feel how smart she is the way she's describing things. And there's little footnotes in some of the chapters as well, like giving some like history and just like some like facts and stuff underneath it. And it's like I just feel like I'm learning so much through what she's writing. So I'm really enjoying that, like the schooling of the dark academia. And then aside from that, like I said, it's a historical fantasy, so it takes place in the 1800s, and Robin, where he comes from, he joins Babel, and there's 3 other students with him, so that's like his cohort. He spends all day every day with them. The sun is getting very bright right now. But anyway, he spends all day every day with them. He's found a found family with them, and you know, he has a group there. And at Babel he has, wow, the sun really just came out. I think we're just gonna have to stick with the light. But he has now a friend group he's never had before. He came from being an orphan into this place of security. He's in a place right now where he feels like it's almost like a utopia to him. Like he has no struggles within himself, and he meets this other character, and that one is kind of describing what Babel is doing, and almost in like a corrupt way trying to explain it to him. So now he's in like this battle where it's like he sees what these silvers are being used for and what Babel is like trying to do underneath all of it, and what he's actually been learning and like the other side of it. Kind of like a battle right now between him, because he's growing up and he's learning how Babel is taking all these resources and languages and everything from all these different countries, and that's why the 4 of them are like they're such assets to Babel, and they're using them and their knowledge of these languages and what they're learning for these silvers and for their benefit. Like the magic system, when it's explained in the book, is very simple to understand. It's hard to like describe for some reason for me, but Robin's like realizing all these different things about Babel and everything, but he's also going through the schooling because again, he has the security there. That's all I've got right now. I really do like Robin as a character. I feel like the things that he's questioning and everything is very interesting, and I'm invested now. Like I want to know what's gonna happen now because I feel like he knows both sides of it. It's also slow moving because it's just like character driven. We're just following Robin through like everything he's learning, so I'm definitely interested to see like what's gonna happen with the storyline, because it's like Robin can make his decision whether he's gonna stick to one side or the other. So I guess we're gonna see what happens there, but I'm definitely enjoying it. Let's see if I get to my page count that we have to get to today, which is 288. Fingers crossed that I do. Last night I did not meet the goal that I was supposed to. I got to page 247 instead of 288. Today's the next day. I was on TikTok, my most used app, for an hour and 18 minutes, so that's 78 pages to read today, but I'm including the 41 that I didn't read yesterday. So technically I have to read 119 pages today. So we have to get to page 366 today. That is the new goal. Hello, it is now Saturday. I think this is day 6. Tomorrow's our last day, which is crazy. This has flown by, but I have some updates and also what we're reading today, how many pages we're doing. I think yesterday I said I spent an hour, however much time it was on TikTok. It was YouTube yesterday, not TikTok. Today is TikTok. I told you, those are like the 2 most used apps, but I've been checking, like I've actually used these apps. It was just that one day. I spent 4 hours and that was not on me. But these other ones are definitely on me. So I also think yesterday I was saying I have to get to page 288. Like all my days are mixed up. Like did I say 288 or did I say 366? Because I had to get to 366 and I did. I woke up this morning and I checked I was on 368 or something like that. So we did hit the goal yesterday, which is exciting. But today I was on TikTok last week for an hour and 29 minutes. So we have to read 89 pages of the book. I do want to read more than that, which is a hopeful goal for myself, but that's like the minimum is 89 pages, which would take us to page 458, which is close to the end of the book. I think it's like a little bit over 500 pages. Yeah, it's like 530 something. So we're getting near the end, and updates on the book before I go back into it and start reading more because I'm so invested now. I think the buildup of the beginning is really important because it kind of just lays all the foundation of the world and also like the secret society of where Robin is. You need to understand how he feels there and how he's treated there, and then once he steps out into the real world, seeing kind of what's really going on, if that makes sense. So I think the buildup is really important. It's definitely a slow burn of a story, but all of the details you're getting, sometimes like when I'm reading I'm like, okay, this is slowing down a little bit, but at the point where I'm at now, I was like, no, that was important to learn about. Something happened, like I don't know what percent I'm at, but something happened maybe like 50 pages ago yesterday when I was reading. I went to Chris's office for a little bit just to like, he had to do something, so I went and I brought my Kindle, and something happened while I was there and I was just like jaw drop shocked. Ever since then my adrenaline has been pumping the whole book. Like every time I open it back up and I start reading again, like I just like the ball is gonna drop soon, and like that's kind of what I'm waiting for. So I'm super invested. I can't wait to see like how they all figure out what's going on. I honestly have no idea where it's gonna go from here, but every time I open it back up I'm just like, I need to know. So this honestly is reminding me how I felt when I read If We Were Villains, because that's also dark academia, kind of like secret society-esque, and that's like what this feels like as well. Definitely different themes and plots and everything, but there's elements to it that I'm also enjoying from this that I saw in that one as well. So that's just my little update. I'm definitely enjoying it, and as I read more today I'll give more updates of like how I'm feeling and like what's going on. But like right now everyone's just on edge, including me. Every character and me, we're all on edge. So I'm gonna read more. Hopefully we hit the goal. Hopefully we go further than that, maybe even finish it. That's kind of, what's the word? That might be pushing it, but I don't know, we'll see. I'll come back with further updates, but just know we gotta get to page 458 today. Oh my god. crazy. I think I hit my goal. What was our goal? I made it to page 458, which was our goal. I'm gonna keep reading because things have picked up so much. The adrenaline is crazy and so much has happened where I feel like I could have teared up, but I've just been like jaw dropping. I've just been shocked because going into this, I didn't really know what I was expecting. So like I didn't know what was gonna happen with the story, but things have gone crazy, but I need to finish it. So we've hit the goal though, so that's good. I don't have much left. So let's see how the ending goes. Real quick before I get into our next book, or I start reading my next book, I need a little bit of a break after finishing Babel. The ending of this and just like the second half of this, I feel like picked up so much. In the beginning, you're getting him at Babel, you're seeing that side of it, and you're kind of following along in his point of view and like his perspective and opinions, and you're kind of seeing how he feels about it. And then he finally steps out of his small world that he's in and like the privilege he has, and he steps out and he sees everything finally. And it was so interesting following his point of view and seeing like all of these like changes throughout it. And I don't want to say too much because I feel like I went into this a bit blind. I knew like the summary of the back of the book, but didn't know exactly like where the story was going to go or what it was technically about and everything like that. So I think if you're interested in this book, I would definitely pick it up. I think if it's not your normal read, I would still pick it up. I think if you like a more political historical type fantasy genre, and I think if you like a dark academia setting, you'd really enjoy this book. It's definitely a longer book and also a bit dense. You're kind of like learning as you're going. I feel like the author was also like teaching a bit. I feel like some parts were a bit more like on the nose rather than just like kind of letting us not interpret, but kind of just like go along with the story and just understand what's happening. Like she was very much telling you what's going on, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I enjoyed this. With that, I read 78 pages of. I know this time last Sunday I was on TikTok for like 2 hours, which I usually sit and like rot on my phone on Sunday, so like I knew that it was gonna be a higher amount of pages today. So it was like 135 pages I had to read. I read 78 of this one, so we're starting our next book in a little bit. I need a little bit of a break, but I feel like this is a good brain break after reading Babel. I am matching the book, which I think is fun. I'm gonna go on a walk and read and do all that stuff, but in a little bit. So I will see you when we start our next book and when I hit, hopefully, the page count for today. I failed. The last day I failed. I think I had like 40 something pages left to read of my new book, but I haven't read anything since Babel or since those 13 pages I read of It's a Love Story. I think Babel took so much brain power and just like thinking for the book that I just like didn't want to read after that. I feel like I couldn't get into a book, so I haven't read in a few days. It feels very weird that I have not picked up a book, or I picked up a book and I stopped and I haven't read since. I can say confidently I checked my screen time from last week when I was reading so much. When I swapped everything, it's significantly lower, and who would have thought that it would actually work. I spent so much time reading last week. I got so many pages in, as you guys saw, that my screen time is like less than half than what it was. So the challenge worked. It got me off of my phone, and I'm gonna continue doing that once I pick up a book again, which is today. I think I'm gonna start a new book. Thank you guys for coming along with me. Let me know if you read either of the books that we read in this video. I tried to get the third book in, but I just like couldn't continue reading, and I didn't want to force myself to read the books. I do want to read that when it's like the time is right. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books, if you enjoyed this video, if you're gonna try it out. This challenge definitely did what it was supposed to do. I'm glad I got a lot of reading done. I'm glad my screen time is down. We're gonna keep it that way now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all hopefully next one. Bye.